Hello, once again, it's Brick Fury, one of the best Heroclix type shows that you watch. Certainly the best with us in it. I'm your host as always, Brad Harmer Barnes, and I'm joined by my constant compatriots Ian Harmer. Hi. And Joe Crouch.
Hello.
Well, guys, all changed this time.
Yes, just when I thought I understood something.
Just when we think we've learned how to play Heroclix properly,
they've gone and mixed it all up.
Now, I've kind of skimmed revenue rules. They certainly haven't reinvented the wheel. You're not going to be totally lost and confused. It is a rules update. It's not a remake. Certainly, to my mind, it's certainly less of a jump than you used to get with different versions of Warhammer. There was serious.
But yes, total power changes.
Or AVP 1 to AVP 2, because at some point between the first edition and the second edition, it became playable. And they've not really rehashed the rules so much of this. Little things have been tidied up. One of the things advanced team abilities are gone, which is fine because I can't remember the last time I used one.
You paid the points for
I
that.
haven't seen battlefield conditions mentioned. And when was the last time anyone used a battlefield condition apart from your Sharknado scenario?
We may have used one in one of Paul's games, but that was like 2-3 years ago.
They just didn't get. I think it's also it's like a lot of. It's like the weather chart in Blood Bowl. You do it and then you forget about it for the rest of the game. And you go, oh, it's supposed to be raining.
Other couple of turns where you do forget.
It's tough enough. It's tough enough with an event dial.
Yes,
you forget what you're supposed to be doing. So I can understand those gone. General impression I'm getting from rules is it is streamlined, it is punchier, it's kickier, it is the game you wanted it to be.
Concise. Yes.
I think more than anything, the layout of a rulebook is so much easier on the eye because that old one, it just looked like it was. Something about it looked like it was just a poorly photocopied 80s TSR.
There was almost
this
no love
one
in
pops a lot more. It looks more comic book like, which is what it should look like. But obviously the main changes and the main tidy ups have been to the superpowers, which is also the main reason we play these games. It's why we like the characters. What makes it dull? It's about the superpowers. You have a very, very standard war game without the superpowers, and obviously the clicky dial, which changes your powers around.
It'd be human clicks. That just sounds.
Join us next time when we're going to do a game consisting only of non-powered characters.
Oh, finally, an army of armies.
150 armies for 300 points.
Attacking the milkman and the postman.
But the majority of the changes and the majority of the tidy ups have been on the powers. So for this episode, we're going to run through all of the powers which have been changed or tidied up and have a quick discussion about them, see what we think, if we think it's for better, if we think it's for worse, or anything we think they should have done differently. Sound good?
Yeah, because it's going to take a while to look at the actual rule book and find the differences.
That'll be another day.
That'll be another day, yeah.
So we're going to run through the powers now. Let's get started. First power, Flurry, is the top of the list of the speed abilities, so it was always going to be the first one we did.
Changed it to McFlurry. Sorry.
It's on a lot of dials.
Okay, so the wording of the old version of Flurry is: give this character a close combat action. After the close combat attack resolves, it may make a second close combat attack as a free action. The first attack doesn't activate the damage depletion modifier.
Yes.
The new version of Flurry is close, make up to 2 close attacks.
I mean,
that sounds better to me.
It sounds better, doesn't it? That's all that needed to say.
As a new player, if I read damage depletion thing, I'd
the damage depletion's in the rulebook.
Yeah.
But to be honest, damage depletion is a weird thing because you only ever really get more than one melee attack as part of Flurry, and Flurry doesn't trigger the damage depletion modifier.
The only other one is multi-attack.
So why isn't that just part of the multi-attack?
It's quite a rare thing
it was a case where there was more of an exception than there was a rule. So I think that wording in favour of. That's, if the rest of the powers continues, this will be done in 5 minutes.
Yeah, if it's like that, that's
leap,
beautiful.
climb. Can leap and climb.
So it makes it more accessible to people around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Leap, climb. Old wording. Give this character a move action and move it up to its speed value. During the movement, the character adds 2 to its d6 roll when breaking away, and can use, flip the chart over, ignores elevated terrain, hindering terrain, outdoor blocking, and may move through squares adjacent to or occupied by opposing characters, but still needs to break away normally. It's one of the movement rules. When you give this character a close combat action, it may target a character regardless of the target's elevation.
So climb up the wall and back
so
on.
Spider-Man can jump up the wall and punch someone. The new wording is leap, climb. Elevation does not affect adjacency when choosing targets for a close attack. When moving, This character can move up or down across elevated terrain without using elevation change squares. This character does not stop moving when moving into water terrain and does not halve its speed value when beginning movement from water terrain. This character can move through outdoor blocking terrain. This character can move through squares adjacent to or occupied by opposing characters without stopping, but does still need to break away. Adds 2 to break away, move up to your speed value.
Much better. Yeah.
No change.
Simpler.
No change whatsoever,
Makes more sense.
but much better wording.
Yeah, just talk
and for
the
years
language,
we've been saying Heroclix needs to tidy up its wording.
Yes, no,
So in favour of that one?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Phasing teleport. Old wording. Give this character a move action and move it up to its speed value. This character ignores elevated terrain, ignores hindering terrain, ignores blocking terrain, ignores characters during this movement.
Yes.
So it just walks through everyone.
Bam.
The new wording is move this character to move up or down across elevated terrain without using elevation change squares. This character does not stop moving when moving into terrain that is hindering for movement purposes and does not halve its speed value when beginning movement from terrain that is hindering for movement purposes. This character can move through blocking terrain. This character can move through squares adjacent to or occupied by opposing characters without stopping and automatically breaks away, even if adjacent to a character that can use plasticity. Then you move up to your speed value. The only real buff there is on the plasticity change.
Which is nice, to be honest.
I think you could always phase away on the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. You basically just vaporise it.
It's bamfed.
Yeah.
I think we may have house ruled that.
Yeah.
Thinking on it, I think it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Fantastic is wonderful at wrapping around people, but you can't wrap around Shadowcat.
That's true. She's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do we think? New version?
I think it encapsulates it.
But what's great is I kind of read it fully there. If you just go by the symbols on the I kind of gave you the full wording. The abbreviated version is movement ignores elevated, hindering, blocking, and other characters.
It's brilliant. Yes.
Yeah, it's a much punchier system.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Earthbound neutralised. This character possesses. What do they possess? He's never is he? A standard movement, standard fight, standard defence, and standard damage instead of its combat symbols. This power can't be countered or ignored. Now, for most characters, that's not a problem. What it would do, it would mean someone who has a sharpshooter is buffed down to the normal fighting ability. Someone who's got giant is buffed down to normal sized.
Yeah, or surely if someone's got blades, they can't use it, for example.
No, because it's just for symbols to
Just for
change.
symbols,
It's,
okay.
it's just so. Yeah, if you had sharpshooter, you would just be judged to only have standard combat.
Right.
Oh, so you can
Yeah.
get rid of people's
Yeah,
inbox
if you
and
had
stuff.
colossal damage, you'd judge to just be standard
Right,
damage, so
okay.
you wouldn't get any of the buffs as normal. The new wording
To
is
use that power more.
yeah. The new this character can't use movement or ranged abilities or willpower. So it's blocked willpower, but it hasn't stopped someone like a colossal character being giant reach.
So movement doesn't mean you can't. So yeah, okay. So you've still got giant reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes more sense because if you can you might be able to shoot down shoot down Falcon's wings so he can't move, or he's got to spend a turn fixing
But you
his
can
wings
still
or
punch
whatever.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Galactus is still quite tall, regardless of how you've
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, Colossus is always going to be 7 foot tall. You're
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
You don't get shrunk by someone's punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby Groot is always going to be tiny. You can't buff him up to an easier to hit size.
No.
So to me, that works. I like that it stopped willpower though.
Yeah.
Because to me, the whole concept of Earthbound Neutralised is you've temporarily bamboozled them,
Yeah.
or they are
Well, no, sometimes
temporarily
it's actually
knackered.
on a dial. It seems
Yeah,
to be
it tends to be on a dial.
change
It's
of
when they need a rest almost, isn't
Yes,
it?
yeah.
It's not something you
Yeah.
hit someone with, it's something you're hit with.
Yes.
It's something like when Johnny might hit a Nova flame and then he's knackered for a couple of
Flame
turns.
off,
You've got to
yeah.
push your way, or the best way of doing it is pushing damage yourself off it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like that you can't willpower, because that's going to stop you double
It's almost
pushing
like they've
damage
been
to get off
Yeah.
it.
It slows you down.
It
as well.
stops you double pushing damage to get off it.
Okay.
Because if you've got willpower, you can't take pushing damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
So you haven't got that, you know you're going to take a hit rushing back into combat.
So it takes you out of the game for a little while.
Yeah, do we think that's a good change?
Yeah.
It's something that doesn't really occur much in our games, but
It's not a power you see often, but I like this new version
Superman
more.
can do it to people, and I think Thor can, and I think as me, I've played Superman maybe the most. Maybe Rob has out of our little
Rob
group.
of Dengars, Rob is the biggest DC player.
Yeah, but I think Omer would have had to have used Earthbound because he plays nothing but Thor.
He did have
Thor
some.
definitely
He has
has-
no Guardian, aren't he?
Yeah. So I know. That's probably why we've never come up against
Yeah,
it.
it
that's
doesn't
right.
really-
Doesn't
yeah,
our models. Yeah.
Yeah, I just tend to go for some Marvels on there. I know you mostly go for cosmic stuff, you mostly go for other stuff. I just get indie Marvel characters I like is what I buy. Charge, probably one of the powers we use most.
Most dials have got them.
Yeah.
One of my favourites.
Okay, the old wording is give this character a power action, half its speed value for the action. Move this character up to its speed value, and then it may be given a close combat action as a free action. This character ignores knockback. Charge, the new wording, can't be knocked back. Spend a power action, half speed, move, then close combat at no cost.
So
Great.
Much punchier.
cleaner.
What I also
Cleaner.
like is it put is immune to knockback first, because
Yes.
that gets overlooked all the time. If you've got charge showing through your window, you are immune to knockback.
Yeah,
That is one of those powers which is always forgotten.
That does get
I'm
forgotten.
pretty much just learning that right now. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that does get.
Oh, you
that does
doing
get
the show?
because I suppose you've still got some impetus. You're going forward.
Yeah,
You're going that way.
Yeah, you're immune to
Yeah,
knockback
yeah,
when you've
okay.
got charge, and but that the old wording that got lost. You just went, oh cool, I can move and attack. Most characters can't, and you stopped reading.
Yes.
So for that whole turn, you just can't be knocked
Not
back.
your turn. As long as you've got charge showing through your window, you are immune to knockback.
That must have happened.
The
in games.
hell.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, this is
Must have
great.
happened.
This is an example of the new
They
wording
could
is
they
better.
bulleted it right at the beginning. Yes.
Yeah, they
now-
put it at
now
the
you
start.
can't
Yeah,
avoid it.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah. Because that you used to read and go, oh, I can move and attack, awesome, stop reading. This one is, oh, that's interesting. What does it actually do? Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
yeah,
that's
that's
good.
That is
Yeah,
better. Yeah.
We like the new charge.
Yes.
Well, it's a
It did-
defensive
we
ability
didn't
now.
think, but we
Like-
didn't think it needed tidying, but we
Yeah.
like the tidied version.
Yes,
Yeah, because I've learned
Yeah.
something now.
Joe's learned
Cool.
something.
Mind control.
We never use
A
that.
pretty niche power. It's a niche power. You tend to get it more with guys like Professor Xavier is obviously it's designed for dark
Yeah.
side to an extent.
I only tend to use it with people who don't take the damage because if you
Yeah.
might control someone with a high point,
Someone like Brainiac
fine.
probably got it as well. Jean Grey might have.
Dead Man's
brother
got it.
Voodoo.
The brother, Dead Man,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it does show up, but I would say it doesn't get used. I think it's one of those powers. Anyone can blades and anyone can charge. It takes a good Heroclix player to use mind control.
Yes,
correctly.
yeah.
It's it's not advanced in its implication, but it is advanced in its use.
Well, it's the fact that you have to make the roll to mind control,
Yeah.
and then if you mind control them to do an attack, you have to make the roll to an attack. And
Yeah.
I think to risk averse players,
Yeah.
it's not worth the risk.
I've
is it?
Blade Cooper we've had on the show before is exceptionally good at using mind control.
I've done it
Also
once
in
or
the
twice,
game.
but not. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
The oldie worldy version of HeroClix Mind Control was give this character a close or ranged combat action, minimum range value of 4 that deals no damage. A successfully hit target becomes friendly to your force. Each target hit may be assigned one action as a free action, immediately after which the target becomes an opposing character again. Deal this character 1 unavoidable damage if a successfully hit target's combined point value is 150 points or
That's right,
more.
yeah.
Yeah, so
It's a
if you're
mouthful,
gonna
isn't it?
if you're gonna try and mind control onslaught, there's
Well,
gonna be-
obviously you've got some
repercussions.
dials that they can mind control more than one character. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new wording of mind control is close or ranged action, minimum range value 4. Make a close range attack. Instead of normal damage, it hits character half speed and becomes friendly to your force and may in either order move and or make an attack. Then it reverts forces.
It's much better.
move and or.
But move and or
Yeah,
attack. It
because-
instantly has... it's got half movement and can move and or attack. You instantly give it charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because before, unless that character you were mind controlling
Was right
near
next to someone, all you could do was move them. And
Yeah,
then
if they
just
had
like,
if they had ranged, fair enough.
Yeah.
But they were
Yeah.
useless otherwise.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah,
when
that
we
way
played
is
four-way
much better.
games, people had moved someone's character next to someone punching.
then-
Yeah. It's...
yeah.
I think it's better. I think giving it charge, but
Giving it
not only
half
make-
speed.
to
yeah.
my mind, not only does it make it a better game plan, not as a wording better, but I actually think that makes for a more dramatic storytelling experience.
Yeah.
That's made mind control much more thematic to me, rather than just Sue Storm. Sue Storm gets mind control and she walks up to Reed and then has to stop,
Yeah.
rather than running up and hitting him, which is a much more dramatic storytelling.
Yeah.
And we like this game for the stories as well.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
we? We like
yeah,
making battles become
Although
stories.
we have actually used mind control to make someone go the other side of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've told them to fuck off.
You've
basically.
said that. You've gone back
Yeah.
to your entries.
I
Over
have,
before,
yeah.
haven't you?
so yes, I remember that. Someone sent me straight back as a joke.
Yeah.
I won't be able to do that so much, mate.
No, do we like? So I
That's
like.
tied,
I
it's-
think
they're
that's-
all
I think
not
it's
only
made
that,
it
I
more
think it's a
useful.
better power.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Like the other power screams mechanics.
Yeah.
Now it kind of is like no,
That's
that's
a
mind
superpower.
control. That power matches up with that
Yeah.
name.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah.
That's good.
Plasticity. The power which mostly is used by Plastic Man and Reed Richards, and that's it. This character adds to... old wording is... Oldie world? I keep doing it. The character adds 2 to its D6 roll when breaking away. Opposing characters can't automatically break away from his character and subtract 2 from a D6 roll when breaking away from his character. So yeah, phasing teleport, you had to break away.
Okay, right, yeah.
You had +2, so it was chances you were going to do it, but you could still fluff it.
Master House ruled it then.
Yeah. Opposing characters entering a square adjacent to this character must end their movement, even if they would not have to do so normally.
Mm-hmm.
The new wording of plasticity is breakaway +2. Adjacent opposing characters get breakaway -2.
Oh,
Adjacent opposing characters of the same size or smaller can't use any ability which lets them move through squares adjacent to or occupied by opposing characters without stopping,
Luke Klein, yeah.
and they cannot automatically break away.
So
Does plasticity
Colossal?
overrule it or not? Does phasing teleport?
did it explicitly state it
Yeah,
up there?
Phasing Transport did say that it...
Yeah.
Isn't affected by plasticity?
Yes, it does. You're right.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
yeah. So phasing teleport overrules plasticity.
Does plasticity affect giant stamina and all that, colossal stamina, and
I just think Colossal still can
because
break away.
they don't have to break away, do
They just
they?
ignore you.
Because if you can use plasticity on a colossal, then that opens it up for
Great, great size.
Normally, this is in the Colossal card, ignores...
plasticity.
No, good, this is automatically breaks away. doesn't it?
Yeah,
That's the word it
yeah.
is.
Even though you still have to break, a colossal character has to try and break away by the look of it. As far as I can piece together, I'm doing this in front of the camera. As far as so, if I'm wrong, please do comment, shout at me on Twitter, or whatever. But as far as I can see, plasticity you cannot automatically break away from.
So if that's correct, then that's a game changer.
Reed Richards can tie up the skull ship.
Which kind of makes sense because he can stretch infinitely, can't he?
Yeah.
So
Well, it depends. The honest answer is it depends who's drawing him.
fair.
I'm not joking.
How thin can you spread a Reed Richards?
Exactly, yeah. But so, what do we think of change plasticity? I like the breakaway modifier.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's good.
it's obviously it's again much.
Just
much
phasing
simple.
is the only one that kind of changes it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
phasing. Yeah,
I think it's
phasing overrules plasticity, which makes sense.
So you can't even leave climb side past someone with
No.
capacity. So,
I don't
No.
think you could before though, could you?
no.
Well, looking at it, when you have leap climb, you'd have +2 to your
you've got
breakaway,
advantage,
and
yeah.
plasticity would give you -2, so you would break away normally.
Yeah, okay.
They cancel each other out in that sense. So it'd just be a 4 + 1
Yeah.
6 to
Those
break
axes,
away,
yeah.
which works. Spider-Man
works,
would have
yeah.
50-50 chances of breaking away from Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you think of any other characters used, plus a blob, I guess.
I don't think so. Yes.
The blob might, yeah.
I can't think of any.
I have got a blob click, so I've got a feeling he has got plasticity because he's
Oh, is
just
he the one
supposed to
that
be
was
hard.
in-
The idea is they sometimes also
Doctor Octopus.
they sometimes
Yeah.
give it to characters like that just to represent being tougher to break away from.
Yes, yeah.
Venom may have it.
Oh, yeah, maybe, actually.
Or Venom and Carnage and all
Yeah,
those
but they do
symbiotes.
often give it to Ken Shamrock because he's hard to break away from. But ultimately, I quite like the new word. The new wording is nowhere near as wordy as it was.
No.
And I'm looking forward to Energy Explosion in medicine for that very reason.
Yeah, it'd be interesting whether the actual Colossal characters actually does say on their card automatically breaks away.
I'm getting a new Colossal in 2 days, so we'll be able to see.
Wonderful. Force Blast.
Hardly ever use it.
Hardly ever use it
I like
because
this
it's got really difficult wording.
It is. Yes.
Give this character a power action and roll a d6. A single adjacent opposing character is knocked back from this character a number of squares equal to the result. When this character hits with an attack, you may choose that it generates knockback if it doesn't already.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple.
I guess.
The new wording is knockback power. Knockback, which is when one or more opposing characters takes damage from his character's attack, you may choose to knock back all hit characters in an amount equal to the damage clicked. So that's fact you can opt in to knock back if you want to.
Yes, that's it.
Spend a power action, roll a d6. A target adjacent character is knocked back equal to the result.
Okay.
So it's not
Pretty
like
simple.
that.
It's much punchier, much easier.
It hits
to
harder.
And not obviously
Yeah.
knockback has been changed into an actual capitalised term.
No, it was D6 before anyway. Yeah, there's no change for power.
Just
wording,
tied up the wording.
up, which I think is to its
I
benefit.
think this ties in because they've redefined knockback in the new rules of what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Where people sometimes have difficulty if you're doing like a diagonal knockback. Some people have difficulty. Like say you were there, and you had one square free, and they were there.
Yeah.
And you knocked back that character.
Mm-hmm.
Where would they go? Because it's not a clean line.
You only tend to get that with multi-base characters.
Yes. But they have changed it now so that you have to do it like in a clean diagonal line or whatever.
Cool.
But they've changed other things about knockback, so I think that's probably why it's in capitals now. It's a term.
It's a term. Yeah. Okay, we'll check that out with the rules as well. Okay. Sidestep, a power loved by both of you. There are many exhibition matches in the show. Sometimes Joe will sidestep across the map.
And stay in my starting area at the same time.
Stay in the starting area. And this is just a perfect example of no change for power, but the wording, and there was nothing wrong with the original wording, but the new wording is better. The old wording was, give this character a free action, it can move with a locked speed value of 2. The new wording is, free action, move up to 2 squares.
Yeah.
Fine. Yep.
Just less words.
Yeah.
Just
fewer.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Yeah, I think so.
That's fine.
Hypersonic speed.
Rob's favourite.
Debatably one of the most powerful powers in the game.
Definitely, movement wise.
Yeah. That and blades, I think, are the most powerful abilities in the game. Maybe if used well, poison. Hypersonic speed, the old wording. Give this character a power action and move it up to its speed value. It adds 2 to its d6 roll when breaking away and can move through squares adjacent to opposing characters but still needs to break away normally. During this move, this character may, as a free action, make one close combat or ranged combat attack with its range value halved for the attack. This character must be in a square where it could legally end its move in order to make the attack. Nothing wrong with that wording.
Not really.
That's there, yeah.
The new wording. Hypersonic speed. Add 2 to breakaway. Spend power, halve range. Moving through squares adjacent to or still occupied by opposing characters without stopping. What's that symbol mean? That's a new one.
They're like a person.
Yeah. Passenger 0. This character uses a carry ability to carry up to 0 characters, including characters of the same size but don't have flight. Okay, don't know why that.
Oh, so you can't carry.
You can't carry.
You
cannot carry with hypersonic speed.
Which is fair. I think certain characters
move, then make an attack, then move up to your speed value minus the number of squares just moved.
It sounds more complicated. If I'm
that wording actually is weird. I like that they've stopped you being able to use carry with it.
That's fine.
Because you shouldn't be, even Flash will be slowed down carrying someone.
Yeah, sure.
But that seems wordier to me.
Even though
it's not words, there's fewer words, but it doesn't make as
quite a few less words.
Yeah, move, then make an attack, then but as opposed to during this move, the character may as a free action make one close combat or ranged combat attack with its range value half for an attack.
I prefer the old one.
Yeah, I think during this move is actually the only way it implies you can do it half. You can move and then keep moving again. So maybe that had been a point of contention for some players. Maybe for some players that was during your move you stop and you attack. Whereas that was cleared it up. It's not something that ever bothered us, but now I think about it, I could see how it could be ambiguous to some people.
That's the got stopped.
Yeah. But there's no real change to that one, is there? Which is fine.
Apart from the carry thing, not really.
Running shot.
I love that.
It's the ranged version of charge.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Old wording, give this character a power action, halve its speed value for the action. Move this character up to its speed value and it may be given a ranged combat as a free action. It is literally just a ranged version of charge.
Without the knockback protection.
Yes, without knockback protection.
I'm learning.
Yes. The new wording is spend a power action, halve speed, move, then make a ranged attack at no cost.
Fine.
Same thing, yeah. Power half. It's quite an abrupt language, but it works well. Verbatim, it's power, half speed, move, then range at no cost. Yeah. Moving on to the attack powers.
Yay.
The most fun part.
Yes.
Blades, claws, fangs. In my opinion, the most powerful. I'm waving a pen around. In my opinion, my opinion, the most powerful power in the game because it is a game changer.
You can have quite low wattage models doing a lot of damage.
The new version. When this character hits and would deal normal damage during a close action, you may roll a d6. If you do, deal damage equal to the result instead of normal damage. Minimum result from this character's printed damage value -1. So if you normally hit on 3 and you've got blades, you can't roll lower than 2.
Okay.
They've
more
made
powerful.
it more powerful.
They have, yeah.
They've made it more attractive as well, because when you had like 3 damage and you got blades, you went,
Should I?
I probably could take him out with the 3 damage.
Yeah.
I don't want to roll a 1.
I have definitely done that before. Yeah.
But now it's gonna happen more often.
But more often you can get 6 damage.
And then these two's going to
But
get
6 damage. It's 6 damage on Fin Fang Foom is a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Blades is insane.
6 damage on a normal character. These lower clicked sort of.
You
lower,
can overcome the armour on these new lower
You're going to
models,
just do them in one.
And it's always been weird to me that a katana is more powerful than these guys who are throwing fire and magic waves and laser guns around, but blades is the most powerful weapon.
Yeah.
It's always been weird to me, but it's the way the game is.
Yeah.
So they've made the most powerful power in the game harder.
And you're going to take more chances with it. You're going to do
We're going to see more blades, more claws, more fangs. Do we think this is symptomatic of we're seeing a trend not only in Heroclix but in comics in general, of the darker Punisher type heroes are coming back again? Deadpool's very popular
I think
at the moment.
it's that, and I think it's also they're trying to make the game faster.
Okay, you think it's meta reason?
I think it's both. I think it's they're trying to obviously this whole change is streamlining. I think that is it. They want more damage.
I think the first ever Heroclix set, this power was designed with Wolverine in mind.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
And I think ever since then they've kind of gone, oh well, blades. We've got a blades power, when really that is more of like a Wolverine berserker attack.
Yes, it's just gone nuts. With the blades.
And if they want swords and bites and claws to be the most
It's
powerful
great
things.
because there's a lot.
Most of the characters have that.
Dracula
Yes.
and those sort of
Should
guys.
they be more powerful than Frank Castle with a bazooka?
I think with Gamora, because Gamora's got it. If she hits you with a sword, I mean, I'd expect to be dead.
Yeah, I've always said that.
I'm glad you
So
got that back.
do we like the new,
Expect to be dead.
really? Do we like the new blades though?
Yes, that's going to get used more.
I like it in the sense that if I get to use it, I'll like it.
Yeah, okay.
It used against me, I never liked it. So
Yeah,
you know.
I always use it because I'm an orc player, and if there's a dice roll to be made, I'm rolling that dice. And I
There's
don't
always
care.
a shout from Paul going, "Yes, do it, do it."
There is, that is true.
He's a lifelong Blood Bowl player.
You've got to do it.
Energy explosion, a power so rarely used because the wording was awful. No one wanted to try.
It was only really any effective against if it was a colossal delivering it. Usually would be like 3 lightning bolts or something like that, and then it was powerful. Yeah.
Okay, the new version of energy explosion is ranged attack. Make a ranged attack, and all other characters adjacent to an original target also become targets. So it's a 3x3 blast area.
Yeah. Okay.
Hit characters are dealt 2 damage instead of normal damage.
Is it
Even better.
penetrating or is it?
It is not penetrating, but it is 2
See-
damage. What was the old version?
It depended on the thunderbolts.
Didn't make sense.
What are
Well,
the
it made
thunderbolts
Foom
for?
very powerful because Foom's got 3 lightning.
But it
3
didn't,
damage
for
is
conventional firearms, it made no sense because if we take the Punisher ones, the guy who's got the Uzi has 3 lightning bolts because you spray it with an
that
Uzi.
you can acquire through.
The rocket launcher you'd only get 1 shot off with, so you'd have 1 lightning bolt.
Yeah.
But that would then explode weaker than a machine gun would.
Yes. So there was a bit of a
What are the lightning bolts for now then?
The lightning bolts are the number of ranged targets you may pick out with a
That's
standard
it. So they
ranged
still
attack.
have a
That
use.
still makes
They still
sense.
have a
Yes,
use.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, but I like that they've got rid of the lightning bolts because it made no sense.
It's you can make it more useful on a lower model.
Yeah,
I think.
it made it more.
But it's made the colossals a bit.
It made
weaker,
more sense,
obviously,
maybe,
yeah.
but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
It made sense for guys like Doctor Strange throwing a fireball. Yeah, he'd have big lightning bolts because he can do anything he wants to because he's Doctor Strange. And yeah, if that means that one's going to morph together and go into like a golden fireball, then yeah, fine. But for conventional firearms, it made no sense.
No, you're right.
And the recent trend is lower end X-Force type heroes.
Also, the old one, if the character you're aiming at doing the normal attack at gets the normal damage on your pointed damage value.
Yeah.
And then the other characters around it get the
fallout.
lightning bolt.
That's right,
Yeah. Now it's
It's a
just
3x3
It's just
you
a blanket.
blast 2 hits on each.
Yeah.
Not penetrating, but 2 hits. it takes a lot for a character to have more than toughness. Really, you're looking
Yeah.
these
You're looking
days.
at least one
These
damage,
days,
so-
for a character to have more than toughness, you're looking north of 75, probably north of 100 points.
Oh, 100 points. you
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, it's kind of
I think it's
rebalancing,
it's very balanced. I think it may make some of the older guys with stuff like invulnerability a bit harder.
The last thing I've got some with an explosion that.
Yeah, but
I've
that,
never bothered with
the old
because
energy explosion would never get through their armour anyway.
That's
So
right,
it's-
why are you bothering?
I like it. It's levelled it. It's stopped it being such a bell curve.
Plus, with those older guys in tournament play, they're probably not
Well,
they're not
excluded,
golden
yeah.
age anymore,
Yeah,
or
that's right,
whatever the term is. So
Yeah.
they wouldn't be used anyway. So
Yeah, cool.
makes sense.
Pulse wave.
This is the exciting.
The other bastard of wording other than energy explosion,
Right.
which has never
We all get
made
bored halfway through
any
the sentence.
sense. It's pulse wave that has never been explained whether the explosion comes from a square you target or from your own square.
It's a full-on paragraph here.
It's awful.
It's a wall of text on the old one.
Fucking alphabet soup. It's awful. So we do the new version of pulse wave.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
we should.
Yeah.
It looks
Don't
range.
bore me with the old one.
Spend a range action.
okay.
Half
attack.
range. Ranged attack. Lines of fire drawn by this character are not blocked by characters. This character can make ranged attacks while adjacent to opposing characters. May target adjacent or non-adjacent opposing characters,
Right.
same as sharpshooter.
Fine.
Okay.
Other characters within range can't use powers or abilities for this action.
They can't defend against it then.
Yeah, other characters within range
Wow.
can't use
Okay.
powers or abilities.
And they can't prob the roll to
No,
do the
can't
attack.
prob. Make a range attack targeting all characters, at least one of which must be opposing. Within range and line of fire, bear in mind your range has been halved. Within range and line of fire using their printed defense values. If more than one character is targeted, each hit character is dealt 1 damage instead of normal damage.
But it's penetrating, so
Well, it doesn't say
Didn't say
penetrate.
penetrate.
when in the sense that it's you can't use your defensive powers against it.
Well, that's true, yeah.
So
Other characters
Right.
in range
So
can't use powers or
effectively
abilities.
made
for
it
this action.
penetrating.
yeah, without actually using the word.
It doesn't, it's also worth pointing out it doesn't say opposing characters can't
No,
use
anyone
powers,
is-
so an ally can't prob it.
Yeah, no, it's whoever's in range.
Yeah,
of
Yeah,
that.
your own
Yeah.
troops can get hit.
Make a ranged attack targeting all characters, at least one of which must be opposing within range and line of fire using their printed defense values. It's a one-shot hit. You rake through the roll. If you hit, they get 1 point of damage. It's
I like it.
still, but it's a wording which now makes sense.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
used to house rule it as penetrating, didn't we?
We did,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not penetrating.
It's not officially
Um,
penetrating, no.
It does hit allies as well as enemies.
Yes. Yeah.
Which makes sense again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I think it's
To me, a pulse wave is almost something. It's like a Loki type power, really, or something like if someone was stupid enough to try and tackle Doctor Doom, his armor would just pulse him away.
Yeah, but it's not quite. Yeah.
It's not a defensive power, but it's not exactly an antagonistic power. It's like
it's like
it's
But it's down as the attack power.
it's
so-
a warning bite.
Yeah.
It's your cat clawing you to warn you to stop now.
Yeah.
It's that kind of power.
Yeah.
And I think it works a lot better.
And if you're surrounded,
it's
If
definitely
you're surrounded by
one sound.
150 armays, you're going to end up in flying.
You are definitely going to do that. That is true.
Yeah.
yeah,
So a pulse wave
as tidied
works
up.
again.
Yes. Yeah. That was terrible before.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
Pulse wave works, and to all intents and purposes, that means a new power has been added to the game.
Yes, that's true.
Super strength,
Hey.
knockback during close attacks. That's new.
That's new.
I like that
Yeah, that's
because
great.
that makes sense.
This character can pick up and hold heavy objects,
Good.
which is great because before all it meant was you could pick up and hold heavy objects.
That's all it was.
Yeah, but no, and who remembers to put objects down at the start of a level?
None of us.
Unless one of us remembers to go, ooh, who's got super strength?
Yeah.
Now, when you redo the rules again, can you make it so that we can pick characters up and just use them as
fast
weapons?
special.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
I
would
like
be
it.
great. Yeah, I like it. I think
No, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
It's a minor
because you
buff.
go, oh, I've got super strength, but there's nothing to pick up.
Would you
Yeah.
believe that's about 5 lines on the old one?
That's good.
Why would you need that?
Smoke clouds. You know, you're a fan of a few of your mystical.
Yeah, but we
characters.
get in this one. Oh, I forgot to put the smoke cloud out. Yeah.
Power action, minimum range of 4. Place up to 6 hindering markers within range, each adjacent to at least one other, and at least one marker must be within line of fire. Opposing characters opposing characters occupying a marker modify attack by -1 at the beginning of your next turn, even if this is lost, remove them.
Oh.
Fine, just to tidy up.
No, they've.
Oh, really?
Yeah, characters that occupy these terrain markers modify their attack values by -1, which is the same, unless they can use smoke cloud or ignore hindering terrain for line of fire purposes.
That has changed.
So if
then,
they've-
so
Okay,
they've
make it
made
more
it-
powerful.
Yeah.
You can't smoke cloud a smoke cloud.
if you have got
Makes
smoke,
sense.
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would someone smoke be better, preferable to them over
Yeah.
the...
Just because you can make smoke doesn't mean you can see through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Precision strike.
You like this one?
The melee version of penetrating blast.
Yeah.
While this character when this character attacks a single character, damage taken from this attack can't be reduced below 1, and the target decreases its d6 roll for super senses by -1.
Oh, didn't that
That's
one?
more powerful.
That's new.
Yeah, that's a change.
Also, but that's the other change.
The
Specifically when it charges a single character,
Yeah.
you cannot precision strike and flurry.
Okay.
or multi-attack.
Yeah.
Over, yeah.
It's got to be, and that works.
One
It's supposed to
single
be. It's supposed to be Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch.
It's-
Bruce Lee didn't throw out 5 1-inch punches a minute. You know?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I like-
It's
yeah, it's
better.
fine.
It's
Yeah.
better. It's a lot better and more thematic. Poison. Free action. Every rose has its thorn, just as every night has its dawn. As a free action, if this character hasn't moved or been placed this turn, deal 1 damage to all adjacent opposing characters.
Oh, well, that's different, yeah.
Yeah, so you can't poison if you've moved.
Okay. So it's
Whereas with this one,
You can poison and then move, but you can't move up to someone and then poison.
you know why they've because the original
It used to
power is
be
at the beginning of your
the beginning
turn.
of your turn.
So you'd have to remember to do that, and I
Yeah.
think people were forgetting to do poison. So
Yeah.
now they've made it at any point in your turn you can do it as long as that character hasn't moved.
Yeah, I think
So
it's
that's better. Yeah.
So you can't
better. It's
move
better, but
poison.
it's better.
You can move all your other characters, and that would be fine as long. Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
whereas before you'd have to do the poison first. So
Yep.
I like that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's better.
Yeah.
What 1 damage is going to do against?
It's
It's-
penetrating, isn't it? Or
It
is it?
is not penetrable.
Oh,
It's-
there are characters that can. Though.
Yeah, there's no.
You wait for someone to get super senses or something like that and get poisoned.
Yeah, there's no.
Oh god, yeah.
Poison was always a nice power to have. It was never a game changer.
Well, there were certain figures that could do smoke cloud that was poisonous. And
Yeah,
that
There
was
is,
good.
there is a couple of characters I've got that penetrate
I
poison.
think
Yeah.
I've got a red skull who's got poison kind of towards the. I've got red skull holding the cube.
Ah, yeah,
and
I've got-
poison
yeah.
towards the end of his dial when the enemies are weaker. So you might have
Hopefully
knocked
these-
Cap off his invulnerable earlier, and
You
you
might
can
have,
poison him down.
Yeah, brought it down a bit, yeah.
Mastermind. When this character would be hit by an opponent's attack that deals damage, you may choose an adjacent friendly character that wouldn't be hit by this attack, and that is fewer points or shares a keyword. That friendly character instead becomes a hit target of the attack, even if it's already a target or would be an illegal target. It's for
What was
human shield power.
What was that thing about keyword?
May choose an adjacent friendly character that wouldn't be hit by this attack, and that is less points or shares a keyword.
That's much better than what it was.
Yeah.
The keyword thing is not there at all.
Okay.
So
So even someone who's higher points for you that
It
shares
has
a
the same-
keyword.
that's
So
much
what
better.
we're saying is Bob, agent of Hydra, could drag Red Skull in front of himself as a human shield.
Give you mates.
Yeah,
Yeah, he mates.
Yeah.
Sure.
that's really good because like Guardians of the Galaxy, I think.
Oh yeah, it's guys
Mantis has
who've
got it, I
got,
think.
who's got guys who are like equal team
Yeah.
values.
That's right.
Avengers can now mastermind each other as defensive,
That's-
where they couldn't do before.
That's really good.
That's tied it up.
Yeah,
really
it's
good.
not. Made it less of a villain drag the henchman in front of you shot as
Oh,
it
yeah,
is
you
a
could have this damage.
as it is a diving shot to save your friend,
Yeah,
and that
sure.
works.
They should
That-
probably
for a
change the name.
superhero game, that works.
I would change the name.
Yeah, okay. To
Full guy.
Full guy.
Yeah, I mean I can't
Bob,
think of
agent
anything
of
better than
Hydra.
that, to be honest. Yeah.
Assemble. You know.
Brothers in arms. I
Yeah,
don't know.
anything. Willpower. When this character is dealt pushing damage, you may choose to reduce that damage token to 0.
So that's a lot longer, actually. Read that one again.
When this character is dealt pushing damage, you may choose to reduce that damage taken to 0.
You may
Why
choose
have
to.
they
Choose to. You can opt to take pushing damage to push yourself off a stop click, to push yourself off a.
That's changed then.
That's really good.
You can opt to take damage when you push
Yeah.
your willpower,
Okay.
Okay.
which counteracts what I said earlier about something else.
Can't remember what it was.
No, I can't either.
Oh, incapacitate.
Incapacitate, yeah,
That's
it
it,
counts what I said about incapacitate.
Yeah.
You can push yourself off it.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The original was just ignores pushing damage. So
Yeah.
yeah. That's it gives you
No,
more
it wasn't
options.
incapacity you talked about. It was Earthbound, neutralise.
Yes, yes, you can push yourself off it if you want,
Yeah.
if you willpower.
I
Yeah.
like that. That's
Fine.
yeah.
It hasn't changed much in the grand scheme of
There's
things, but it's an
tidied up.
extra
It's,
option.
it's more options. Yeah.
Yeah, which is great. was expecting to have a long conversation with willpower because it's a power which seems to have turned up during like the points wars of a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was
every world and his wife had willpower.
Or
Now it's
Indom,
not as
yeah.
common anymore.
No.
Or Indomitable is where you're seeing it most.
Mm.
Yeah, invincible, reduced damage taken by 2. Are you ready for the game changer?
What? That is the
Yeah.
game changer.
Can reduce penetrating damage.
Oh,
Takes a maximum of 3 damage at once. They tell you when penetrating goes through and it doesn't, rather than being ambiguous.
That's
Let
what
me
it
read.
needed.
Let me.
So I'm invincible.
Because originally it was half of damage dealt to this character is ignored.
And it's now reduces damage by 2,
flat.
can reduce penetrating damage, takes a maximum of 3 damage at once.
That's
Okay.
brilliant. I mean, it's basically they've just turned it into invulnerability, really, with
But
buffs.
reduction on
Yeah,
penetrate.
with penetrate. Okay,
Yeah.
it's much more specific than about half of your
So
damage.
we'll,
isn't it?
What having to flick back and forth in the wording to figure out which ones could be penetrated and which
We
ones
needed
couldn't.
Blade.
And
We did need Blake.
the definition between ignored and reduced and avoided and like
Yeah.
yeah, it's got rid of that completely, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, longer, but
Regeneration.
Mm-hmm.
Spend-
I've always used to fail at this.
yeah, me too.
Spend a power action, roll a d6, heal a number of click equal to half the result rounded up.
Much better.
Yeah.
Better.
Yes,
So it used to be d6 minus 2.
that's right. And the amount of times you'd roll a 2 or a 1.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
I think that's an
Yeah.
improvement.
Much better.
Yeah.
People use it more now. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Enhancement. Adjacent friendly characters modify damage +1 while making a ranged attack. It's a power which always gets forgotten about,
Mhm.
and I really feel much like Defend. It feels like a hangover from a war game.
It's that adjacent bit again. So
Well,
you end up with
people
some
don't
sort
do
of
that.
They-
there's some sort of leader against with like someone
Some
like
grunts.
or someone like I don't know.
Microchip.
Yeah, it's someone with a range weapon.
Well, you
Yeah.
see a lot of that with the shield
Sniper.
stuff, like you were saying, but they seem to have it. The shield agents have that built into their team ability.
Yeah. Or
Yes.
it could be
Which
someone
is
like
+1 to range. you know.
someone like Cloak could buff Dagger's ranged attacks. But they'd have their own powers for that, wouldn't they? They'd have box outs for that. They're
Yeah,
Cloak
I was
and
saying,
Dagger. You
It's
know?
hard to move forward and then be adjacent
Yeah.
and then use that power.
Yeah.
It doesn't always
I mean,
click.
coupled with sidestep, maybe.
It's one of those ones, much like Poison, which I think is kind of, oh yeah, and I'll do that as well. It's not something you build a strategy around.
I don't think you could.
You
No.
just use it as and when
Not unless-
you can. I mean.
Unless-
You would have to
Unless you
spend-
were set up defending and someone's coming towards you.
I
Yeah,
think,
so-
as I said, with the squad stuff, like Enhancement and like Defend, that's the sort of thing you could get very good at if you spent time practicing with military type
Yeah.
squads, with Shield, with Hydra agents. Those are the, and if you're going to do those sort of military type tactics, there are better games for you to be playing than Heroclix.
Yes, because
It's not really about that.
You-
Heroclix is a skirmish
Yeah,
game.
you play
Your favourite
Something
superhero.
like
isn't it?
Skirmish Sangin or any of the Vietnam games out there, you could be, or any bolt action if you wanted to. There's many ways you could be doing stuff.
But then I
This
suppose
isn't the game for you if that's what you want to be playing.
I suppose it does open it up. Having stuff like that opens the game up to having swarms, effectively. Swarms of...
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
Lower value characters.
Yeah, because...
With that, in the same swarms, we did it with something like the Brood,
Or Ultron drones.
Ultron drones.
Yeah, I've gone up against
Test
a guy
subjects.
playing loads of Ultron drones, and I got completely buggered because they were like buffing each other. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, that he moved them up as a force, and I just couldn't do anything. I
Oh,
was
really?
completely had me. It wasn't Blade, no. It was just it was a guy, someone that I met from Rochester Games.
Okay.
He just happened to have Ultron drones.
Okay.
So I played against them. In the end, it was just major victory on his own. TKing them away from him. just like go away.
As he
go
gently
away.
fell back towards his deployment zone.
Yeah, it was that.
Probability control.
Never used it.
Oh,
Also known as
Oh yeah,
Archivus-
we have.
I used
known
to,
in Archivus for team reroll.
I used to love that power when we were using it incorrectly.
Yeah. Once per turn, you may re-roll a target character's attack roll or breakaway roll. A targeted character must be within range and line of fire, minimum range value 6. That is nerfed
So you
to
can't
hell.
use it on your defending rolls.
Attack attack roll
Oh
and
wait, you
breakaway.
don't do defending rolls, do you?
No, attack roll and breakaway are the only things you
Okay.
can prop. No blades.
Is it your own attack
Can't
roll,
prop blades.
or
Okay.
is it someone
a
else's?
target character's attack roll?
So
Target character
it could
must
be
be
someone
within. Yeah,
else's.
if someone attacking you, you can probability control.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As long as it is within range and line of fire, within range of 6.
Yeah, that's that. It's
Yeah, but it is now only attack rolls and break. You can't do any other. Can't prob super senses. You can't prob blades. can't prob support. Any box out powers you may have, you can't prob. It is attack roll and breakaway only. And
that should be good.
it's a nerf. It's a serious nerf, but I think it's one that's needed.
They definitely needed.
Yeah,
to do
I'll have to check out how the new team probability controls works. If overall's a bit messy, I'm curious to see what the new rules read like.
Yeah.
Perplex. Free action. Minimum range of 6. Choose a target character within range and line of fire. Modify one of that character's combat modes by +1 or -1 until your next turn. No change. Didn't need a change. Nice, simple. Not a Brainiac type character. I meant rather than specifically Brainiac. So it's
got rid of if a target character is damaged or healed, the effect of Perplex on that character.
Oh, okay. So
it's changed.
If a dial changes,
You
Perplex
still
is
get
still in effect.
They're still perplexed.
So it lasts until your next turn.
Like it? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I happen to use Perplex quite a lot, so
Yeah.
that's nice.
Does it say so at the opening line of that one is?
Free action, minimum range value of 6.
Okay. Sounds the same. Yeah.
Leadership. Last one.
That's some kind of cheese.
Not something I use a lot of.
At the beginning of your turn, for all characters that can use this power, your action total is increased by 1. At the beginning of your turn, you may roll a d6. On a 5+, remove an action token from an adjacent friendly characters that's fewer points and shares a keyword. Or shares a keyword, sorry.
Yeah, obviously, it worked very well for the turtles.
Yeah.
And Leonardo was kind of healing, taking their actions off them.
So the keyword thing's different, obviously.
Yeah.
But that start one is as well. For every character you have with leadership, you get +1 to your action total.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of
you've
like
got multiple leaders.
It's kind of like an inbuilt leadership without having to roll.
Yeah.
Which is really, they've buffed that.
They buffed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for new. Pack we'll be using. I'd say pack card. It always be in the same way pin number does. That's for new pack we'll be using going forward. Overall impressions. I like it.
I think there's two things we thought was a bit why have they done that.
Yeah.
But the rest of it I like.
It's kind of made me really excited to get to grips with them now. I think. Not that I'm not excited to play.
It's not a whole new
anyway,
game, but it feels like they've tidied your room for you.
Yeah. And it just feels like things are going to go much faster in a good way. I think.
Yeah. And we don't want to sound down on the old version rules. It's the version rules we learnt to play 2015. I think we started playing. This is the version rules we learnt to play with. We've had a lot of fun times with these rules, but I do think the upgrade was needed. Yeah. And I do think it is a better game for the definition.
I think so. It makes it easier to access. And that's
and if it will bring in new players, wonderful. That's what we want.
I think it might.
I think it will. We're missionaries for Heroclix.
I think it will make things more interesting.
What do you think is the best change made?
I would probably say the addition of those powers that have got, where they've said 150 points or lower, or the keyword. I think actually those ones. So Perplex. What was the other one? There was another one in the attack or defend. No, Mastermind.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so those changes and TK maybe. To be honest, there's not one I hate apart from maybe Battle
I think
Fury.
Blades will probably people will take more of a chance and will use it more. I think that may have an effect of getting rid of some. The game will turn over quicker because of it.
Yeah. I think the overall goal is just to get people using the powers a lot more. Sort of, it makes it feel more thematic. I guess it's something like what you would say. It's definitely it just feels more like superheroes beating the crap out of each other, which is what we want. I
think the change I like most is the Mastermind.
Yeah,
it's made it feel so much more like a superhero game. Yeah,
they should call it cover.
Yeah, or anything.
Yeah, something like that. I think just change the name.
We've not really ever used it much before.
No, I think I might definitely now. Yeah, that's one of the keyword thing. It just,
the Blades buff really. If there was one power which didn't need buffing, it was Blades Claws Fangs.
But it's going to make people take more of a chance.
Yeah,
now you know that you're not going to. Am I going to roll a one?
As for Count of Ravenloft, are you pleased that it's going to make all your monsters a bit bitey?
I'm a bit concerned about some of the defensive powers of like the older colossals, and that sort of thing, they might fall a bit quicker.
Yeah.
I'm so happy Pulse Wave the Energy Explosion finally work. They feel like, there's 2 new powers added to the game. That's how much they've been tidied up. Because I'd have them on my card and I wouldn't use them, so I couldn't be buggered to figure out what I was supposed to do.
What have I got to, I can't be bothered with this paragraph.
That was what it came down to. A lot of the time I've got characters, energy pathways, energy explosion, I wouldn't use them because I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. And the other thing I did like, it was a very simple thing, super strength.
With a knockback.
Actually.
Because that's just it's brilliant. Because and it
You
works
used to go,
so well.
I've got super strength. Well, that's no good.
Do you
There's
know
nothing
what?
to pick up.
That might be actually on record. Like thinking about it again, that might be the best one.
It is. It makes more sense.
You're going to have Hulk knocking people flying, which is the way it should be.
Yes.
And Ben Grimm's going to knock people flying, which is the way it should be.
What I discovered in my brief time with the new rule book. Knockback, if you knock someone over a ledge, they suffer 2 damage.
They do.
And that's even flyers.
So that was flyers.
It's flyers as well. So
Just assume they've hit a lamppost or something.
So you're going to have super strong characters now punching people across the map.
Yeah.
And they can either take 1 or 2 damage. It's going to be
it's
gonna
okay.
be cool.
It's going to be.
It does. It's another way of getting people away from you as well.
Yeah. A localised force blast.
I know I said it's going to be carnage, but I don't think he'd have super strength, to be honest with you. Overall,
there's a lot of dogs with super strength.
Yeah, there really are.
There really are. Yeah.
And there's even some. You got to bear in mind, he obviously overlooked. Spider-Man is incredibly strong.
Yes, I think Gamora's got super strength.
There was a great series probably about 10 years ago, and it was called Marvel Team Up, and it was like one long arc, but each issue it was 2 different characters would team up, or not really team up that well, and push the story along, then just pass on to the next pairing up. It was really, it's on Marvel Limited, well worth a read. And there's just the opening scene, is Spider-Man hanging upside from a wall eating his lunch while a bunch of school kids are talking to him, going like, "You stronger than the Hulk?" "No, I'm not stronger than the Hulk." "Are you stronger than the Thing?" "No, I'm not stronger than the Thing." "Are you stronger than Captain America?" "No, I'm not." "Yeah, I'm stronger than Captain America." In fact, he gets overlooked for being super strong, really.
Yes. Yeah.
It's almost like most people think that he's only super strong when he's in the black suit. I would think.
Okay, yeah. He's definitely got super senses all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless
you've watched the new movie. He apparently still does, but you don't see it.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. Is it good?
Yeah, it's quite enjoyable.
Quite enjoyable.
So, what do we think? I know we don't have hands on the full coach.
No, we've got
aesthetically. What do we think?
I like it. I think the black makes it look a lot.
The black
sleeker.
makes it look more like a professional, not professionals with, but a better gaming.
I know what you mean.
It is more concise. And it's just a couple of things.
I really don't want to come across like we're running this down because we've had a lot of fun times with this pack.
We've been with that pack for 5 years, right?
It's been 2015. I think it's plans. No, 3 years. 2014.
3 years.
So 3 years been played. Yeah, it's a long time with it. Yeah, but I do think. Every change, with the exception of the word, the only complaint we have is the wording on Battle Fury,
which we're not going to use
need
anyway.
tweaking. We have at no point we looked on a power and go, "Oh, they've ruined it."
No, that's true.
Every change they have made for the better.
Yeah.
Like I said to the guys off camera, also like about the pack is it's got the basic actions like object pickup, move, close combat.
That's on there now.
Which is if you're teaching a new player, you just fold the card, put that up in front, and go, "Those are the actions you can take."
Mm-hmm.
Also, on my browsing of the website to download one of these myself, they've also got a quick reference card.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
So there's even
team abilities are still a thing.
I quite like team abilities.
I like team abilities. Yeah,
they make more sense than the ATAs.
The ATAs were fine, but they didn't really work. They were just
no one used them because no one actually picked up the cards.
It was also because they were like
you had to pay for them.
Yeah, an extra. It could be up to like 15 points for really powerful ones. Yeah, and
I think I ended up using them on one of the games where I had Superman with the Infinity Gauntlet, but I had the Kryptonian ATA. Sorry. And it made his attack something like 19 or 20. It was, I think it was a Kryptonian keyword. Gives you if you're flying, you get +1 to all of your combat values, and it's like okay. I mean, it's a great buff, but if I was the only one using ATAs, so it kind of kind of
I
made
think
it
I might have
unfair.
used them once, but back when I started playing, it was like, oh, there is a Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'll use that
I think,
one,
I never kept up with them. And it certainly became a problem later on where when they started using round points numbers, which I'm in favour of, I like it, the models in the 5 or 0, you no longer have points left over.
No, you were running them tighter. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I think they'd have their day, that's all.
Yeah, especially when
battlefield
the
conditions.
lower pointed characters seem to be more powerful these days.
You have got your ID card still.
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
and I think the battlefield conditions are much more fun as event dials.
Are they doing that then? Is that how they're
Well,
going to...
that's basically the same thing, isn't it?
That's what it was, really, wasn't it?
You've got a few event dials, haven't you?
We have. We've got those to dust off still.
Yeah, I think we should try them out.
Yes, yeah.
I've got the pro wrestling.
Cool.
Yes.
Suplex every Joe character.
There was an issue with Ben Grimm became a wrestler and it's been around that.
That's okay. Cool.
There's wrestling rules for Heroclix.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it does sound fun. Get him involved. Okay, so guys, we're happy with the new powers.
Yeah, I think
it's
really good.
Yeah,
I'm really pleased.
Awesome, cool. If you want to keep up with what we're doing, we're going to get together very soon. We're going to film the Planet Hulk scenario. I've said it. It's on camera. It's happening
Yes,
now.
we're applying obviously the
Do you know
rules.
what?
New rules,
By the
yeah.
time we'll have filmed it, Thor Ragnarok will have come out as well. So that's quite...
Really?
Yeah.
When's that out?
I think it's like 26.
I didn't think it's
That's
right.
got to be done then,
No,
isn't it?
it comes out this month,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going to tell
we
Joe
need
that
to
I
play
actually
Hulk.
own a Ragnarok dial, but
That's right. I own the Planet
Use it
Hulk
against
film.
I have the book.
The Planet Hulk animated movie is worth a watch.
I think I've watched the first 10 minutes
Okay, it's worth sticking with.
with
Because-
the rest of the minutes.
No, it's worth sticking with because Silver Surfer's in Planet Hulk.
Yeah, he's not in the film, is
Yeah,
he?
who it is?
It's the Horseman.
But Ray Bill.
Yeah,
It's just like,
Ray Bill.
it's Ray Bill in the Marvel.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
That is pretty cool.
yeah, it's worth a watch. It was certainly on
It
Netflix
was on
for a while. Yeah, I don't know if it's still. I can't.
yes, it's great.
Yeah, it's Planet Hulk's good fun.
I've got Lynn to see it as well.
Awesome. If you want to keep what we're doing, we're talking Heroclix, we're talking Armada, we're talking X-Wing, we're talking Walking Dead, we're talking what else? We're talking Legendary. We'll have Legendary, we'll have Mansions of Madness.
More legendary needed.
All games we love and we play and we do lots of stuff.
Sometimes we just talk about our days.
Sometimes we just talk about our days. You can find all of that at suppressing-fire.com, which might be where you saw this video, but if you're watching on YouTube, hello, go check out suppressing-fire.com. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/suppressingfireofficial, and we're on Twitter at supfireuk. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at realbradhb. Joe, where can people find you on social media?
I am at It's Joe Crouch. So yeah, I'm
On
still getting used to it.
Twitter
On
and
Twitter. Instagram still at Sour Crouch, unfortunately.
It's having a branding crisis.
I am.
Yeah. Ian, where can people find you?
Instagram, I'm Grey Old
GR8.
GR8.
Awesome. There it is, definitely. Awesome. So, thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed us wittering about a subject we're passionate about.
Yeah.
It's been great fun to drink sugary drinks and talk Heroclix. Yeah. But join us next time for a Planet Hulk Rumble.
Yeah, we're applying
Be
those
cool.
new rules from now.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think about the new rules.
Do
as well.
yeah, chime in. There's a little comment section, both on suppression-fire.com and on YouTube and on Facebook. So yeah, join in, please. We'd love to hear from you. Really would. See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.